Scanning for audio.
Welcome to a Tin Dog podcast, this time talking about the Fourth Doctor Adventures, Series 5, I know, Series 5, Story number 6, well, Release 6. Let's not go to quibble over two-parters. This one's called The Trouble with Drax. Now, of course, the real trouble with Drax is that the actor who plays Drax has just died. And so in this story, Ray Brooks takes on that role. Now, for anyone outside the UK, this won't matter to you. But for anyone in the UK, Ray Brooks is a voice god. I grew up watching episodes of the TV series Mr. Ben, a simply animated story about a man who goes into, a fancy dress shop, goes through a secret door and has adventures. It would make a superb live-action film. Serious adventure across space and time with interference and adventures and mementos on a mantelpiece. And this is meaningless to anyone else. But Ray Brooks' voice is brilliant. Yes, I know he did a stint in EastEnders, and the guy's been appearing on our TVs for years. He was even in Dalek's Invasion of Earth. But Ray Brooks, in fact, this entire cast have distinctive, and dare I say it, slightly fruity, and brilliant voices. Now, this series has got Romana 2 and the Fourth Doctor, which means it always has to have an Adamsy feel. And the best way to have an Adamsy feel is to have certain reoccurring thoughts or ideas which have appeared in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, just toned down or washed out a little bit. Things like lines from the City of Death. You know the sort of thing. Pirate planets littered with them. So here, if you've got some Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy-ness, things like the idea of Magrathea, a lost planet, a lost continent, and in this story, you've got a lost temporal city, a place that only time-sensitives can feel. Yes, mentions of time tots and things like that. That's the sort of Douglas Adamsiness that is peppered throughout this script, but there's not too much of it in order to distract you. It's just to give it that feeling that it's, part of your DVD collection. Here's the synopsis. Altrazar, the temporal Atlantis, a place lost in time, believed by many to be a myth. It has long been the perfect location for the rich and powerful to hide away their most dangerous secrets. Until now. Because the somewhat crooked, not exactly honest, wheeler-dealer cockney Time Lord known as Drax has found a map that leads to its location. And at the behest of a manipulative businessman, he's going to use it. When the Doctor is dragged out of the space-time vortex, the crew aren't best pleased to see the Doctor's old school friend, even less when he pressgangs them into joining a raid on the most secure safe house in history. However, with Romana and K9 held hostage, the Doctor has little choice but to agree. With Drax in tow, he heads for the planet, which is where the trouble starts. It's written by John Dorney. This guy's producing so much incredibly high quality work. I've said it before and I'll say it again. We are going to lose him to TV. These storylines are twisted, manipulative, and such fan service as to make us grin from ear to ear, and this story will so make you grin from ear to ear. There is nothing you can say or do to make me think that this story isn't less than brilliant. The casting is superb, and it is so nice to have the President of the Galaxy turning up here as a Doctor Who villain. Hugh Fraser's brilliant. John Challis as Rossa, oh yes indeed. Boise from Only Fools and Horses is brilliant. Yes, I know he was in. That's not what's important. What is important is the role he plays here. Yes, traditionally, and before he was in Only Fools and Horses, he always played heavy. He was taller than everyone else, had menacing outlook and a growly voice. That's the kind of ITC stereotype he starts off playing here. You start thinking, what a waste. And then he steps up Oh my god, this is just brilliant. If ever you wanted to hear the Fourth Doctor on audio, just get this. It's a standalone story. You don't have to have heard anything else. You possibly have seen The Key to Time, but even then, that's not that important. Just knowing that Drax is a Time Lord and this little caper that's going on is just brilliant. Possibly my favourite release of the year so far, and there have been some storming stuff. So I'll play the trailer, let you decide for yourself, and then come back very soon to review other things. So until next time, be seeing you.
Coming soon from Big Finish Productions. Doctor Who, The Fourth Doctor Adventures, The Trouble with Drax.
There, Brighton, 1851. Hopefully the atmosphere will prove a little more cordial on this occasion.
We're constantly visiting the same cities on the same planets.
What's
happening?
Master, the course is being directed by an outside influence.
Hello? Anybody home?
Step away from your TARDIS, Time.
Oh no!
All right, boys, there he is. Fugitive Drax, you have been positively identified.
Drax? Doctor! And Princess Astra have been improving on that stuffy ice maiden you used to hang around with, eh, Doc?
I think not.
Why not?
Because I am that stuffy ice maiden.
Well, this is awkward.
K9, stun them!
Laser non-operational, Mistress.
I believe it's called a state of grace. Time Lord technology, according to Drax.
Drax, you didn't.
I did. Even told him how to allow strategic exceptions, didn't I?
Drax, why are we here?
Altrazar.
Altrazar?
The legendary city, lost to eternity. A metropolis erased from history so completely that only time sensitives have any suspicion it was ever there.
What would you say if I told you that not only do I know where Altrazar is, but I've got a map that can take us there? Wow, that's a bit out of the ordinary.
Isn't it?
And the shadows.
People who once were, who'll never be. Ghosts lost in the mists of time.
Big Finish. We love stories.
On the 3rd of September 2016, Hooverville 8 will be with us. Possibly the friendliest convention in the whole of the UK. This year's guests include, but are not limited to, Kai Owen from Torchwood, Michael Jason from Doctor Who, the Valiard himself, Katie Manning, Joe Grant, Eric Sayward, Sophie Aldred, good old Ace, and Matthew Dale. For more information and to book your ticket, visit the Derby Quad website, www.derbyquad.co.uk, derbyquad.co.uk. That was the Doctor Who Tin Dog Podcast, available on iTunes, YouTube, Twitter, RSS, Vimeo, and across the internet. Doctor Who and its associated properties are all copyright and trademark of the BBC. No infringement is intended. Why not become a supporter by visiting patreon.com/tindog. Contact the show on tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.